Shatner! Thanks. Thank you. Goodness. Thanks a lot. So here we are in all this snow and cold. Wow. I was in Indianapolis last week, and I have a place in Lexington. I'm involved in horses. So I drove from Indianapolis to Lexington during the big blizzard last Monday. And then yesterday, I drove from Lexington. I got up early in the morning and got here by rental car. So I drove. And here's what I was thinking. I'm asked to speak at places, and so I fashion a speech depending on who's asked me to talk. So I thought, and I'm being asked to speak at something in a few weeks, and I've been trying to compose, like, what's a good idea in a science fiction vein. So I thought that I could relate taking a motor trip in a fast car, which I did, from Philadelphia to Los Angeles a year ago. I had a fast car, and I was trying to relate speed and technology of today. This is a very fast car. In fact, I had to ask a lawyer, if I say that I was doing 155 miles an hour, can they come and arrest me? You know, you've just admitted to a felony, you're under arrest. And then I'd say, no, I was just making it up. But I'm not making it up, you know. So if I did, like, I went really fast, 155 miles an hour, and the engine of the car, talk about, have any of you read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, talking about machinery and our life around machinery, and how machinery can bring you a spiritual experience if you sort of really relate to the machinery. So here I am in a fast car going through, and in this case it wasn't the snow, but say it was the snow. I mean, like, I was just driving fast, but not 155 miles an hour, but through the snow. I started off at night, and it was clear, and I could see the stars. It's freezing cold, and I'm driving through the night, aware of the machinery under me, and relate that to the science fiction concepts of speed, like the speed of light. So if you go to the speed, if you were able to travel at the speed of light, you wouldn't get anywhere anyway. The distances are so vast that traveling at 180,000 miles per second, something like that, it would take you 10,000 years to get to the next logical spot. Now, at the same time, your time is slowing down. Time dilation won't even get into that. So here I am driving in a car with the mechanics of today underneath me, thinking about this futuristic world that we're all interested in, because that's why we're here. Like science fiction seeks to answer what's in the future. How could we go fast enough someday in the future to get to other civilizations? I mean, the amount of time that a radio signal goes out and then has to come back, even if how would we know that in the billions and billions of stars and planets around the stars, there's got to be somebody else talking at a Comic-Con? Saying, how will we know? There's this guy that keeps coming in my mind. We don't know. Shatner is talking and I'm talking. We don't know. I mean, there's so many weird things that compose science fiction. So as practical and as and as advanced as what I was in the car, and looking at the stars and seeing the snow and being really cold. I drove through 20 degrees below zero. I was driving the night before last Friday night, Saturday, Thursday night, Thursday late, sort of early morning, 20 degrees below zero. I mean, that's really cold on Earth. But it's nothing out there where absolute cold is 300 and something. It's absolute, it's so cold. I mean, you can't exist. So how do we know? Now, pause a moment. Giving that sort of mysterious thing that would compose the speech I'm trying to make, let me now tell you something that is so magical that you're going to plutz, which is a Vulcan word. Okay, so has anybody ever heard of the name of Johnny Mack? Yeah? The guy who wrote the books? Okay. So Johnny, to those of you who don't, there's like half a dozen people go, yeah. The rest of you don't. Don't let them feel superior. Just not those people. Because now you'll know about Johnny Mack. Johnny Mack was a psychiatrist. He's been dead about 10 years. He was a psychiatrist, a tenured, not a 10-year, but a tenured professor at, I think, Harvard or Yale. Harvard. And he won a Pulitzer Prize for writing a biography of T.E. Lawrence of Arabia. So he won a Pulitzer Prize as a 10-year professor. Those are like among his credits. And a friend of his, also a psychiatrist, says, John, I've got this heavy load of people who claim to be abducted by UFOs. And are just too many people. Will you take over? Oh, come, John, please, I need, okay. And he starts to conduct examinations of people who claim to have been abducted by UFOs. He does 200 of them. He eventually writes 2 books, at least 2 that I know of, in which he claims UFOs exist. How could they exist? At the speed of light and 10,000 years? And I mean, you know, you just think about 10 years ago, like 15 years ago, all the projects that Earth was going to do 15 years ago in 2000, we've forgotten what they are. We're forgetting right now. It doesn't take any time at all before we forget what our original purpose was, and it metastasizes into something else. Imagine going 10,000 years in a spaceship. The first 100 years are we're going to claim, we're going to go, and about the 500-year mark, you say, where are we going? What were we supposed to do? I remember my grandpa talking about what are we in? It's got to happen. That's the way the mind works. So he claimed, Johnny Mack, that in the similarity to what people claimed about being abducted, he came to the conclusion that UFOs exist. Okay, that was the conclusion of the books. Has anybody read The Dancing Woolly Masters? Dancing, W-U, capital L-I. Try it. It explains quantum physics to a degree. Quantum physics, one of the lessons of quantum physics is upon the examination of the object, you bring it into existence. And when you cease examining it, it goes out of existence. Things wink in and out of existence by the very act of examining it. And you can't examine it Because you don't know what it is, because your quality of looking at it is imperfect, so you don't really know what it is. Except that photon of light can make a decision to go in one slit or another. It seems to have intelligence. There's so much that's mysterious out there. We don't know what we don't know because we don't know that we don't know. So how can we say they don't exist, UFOs? Well, they do. So science fiction speculates. When science fiction started, whenever that was, whenever that demarcation line was, oh, I'm writing science fiction, which must have gone with another name, because there were always imaginative people. I mean, were the Greeks thinking, I think they thought there was a cover over the sky and those points of light were little pinhole pricks. But